Good morning, Olive Branch. I'm TJ Cates, and we're coming to you from City Hall here in beautiful Old Town Olive Branch. And you see the beautiful tree behind us, and there's also one out in front of City Hall. We'd encourage you to come down and take pictures with it and be involved with our Christmas in Old Town. And we're obviously going to support local, and we would ask you to come down to Old Town or anywhere there's a family-owned business around Olive Branch. And if you can't shop for a gift, just pick up some gift cards and gift certificates. I know that they would really appreciate if you would do that. I am here today with...
Yes, sir. My name is Lieutenant Brad Waldrip. I'm with the Olive Branch Fire Department.
Thanks for coming in today. And we're going to talk about safety today. And we've had a long time to talk about all the safety topics, and we have some good ones. And let's just jump right into it. Let's give everybody some ideas with Christmas coming up.
The first thing we want to start with is the usage of space heaters. The main thing with them is keeping them away from clothing, sheets, anything combustible. We see curtains a lot because they're up against the wall, cause fires. Also, they're not made to be plugged into an extension cord or your home surge protector. You actually need to directly plug them into the wall.
Okay, I'm a little confused because what you said, this is different, this is new stuff. Not into a surge protector?
No, because actually when we have training video, which I didn't have one, where the actual surge protector is melted, completely melted into just goo.
Was it like a cheap one or was it a decent one?
It was actually a cheaper one,
okay.
But we just suggest to plug them into the wall.
I never knew that.
Yeah,
I thought anything you popped in there is safe.
Yeah, yeah.
But extension cords, they get pretty hot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, if you can touch them and they're hot, it's not rated for that, I promise. So.
Well, let's talk about the different kind of heaters, because I know that we used to have the little red line that went across and got hot, and then we have the ceramic ones that are kind of forced air. Now we have the little plastic ones. Are any of them safer than other ones?
Yeah, the ones that provide internal heat source that's actually inside the machine that you can't reach is actually harder to catch stuff on fire, burn people, because the heat's not directly on the outside. We suggest look for the UL label. It stands for Underwriter Labs. It's just a label, says UL. And it'll give you a rating of what it's rated for, the proper amps, volts. I'm not an electrician, but just go in there. That it's used for and how to properly use it.
And you want to make sure that it has a little push button where it has a tip over?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, they also have came a long ways where if a kid, dog, cat knock it over, it has a tip mechanism that when it tips, it cuts the machine off, so it's not against the floor and stuff like that.
What about fireplaces? What kind of problems are they causing right now?
People not getting them properly cleaned and swept in your wood burning fireplaces, and also make sure there's a cage, boundary, metal, whatever, to keep your kid from going in the fire, logs falling out. It's a big thing.
Well, let's talk about, you said you get them cleaned and everything. Let's talk about gas logs, because I know that we talked about something that showed our age difference.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about the gas logs people started putting in that were ventless, and then there's vent free. But some people are moving into a new home this year and they haven't been in this home in the past winter. How can they check it out?
Yeah, like I said, there's people that can come and maintenance for you and stuff like that. I suggest if you move into a home that you're not familiar with it, you need to get somebody in there that is, because they are dangerous. If you smell gas, you need to call us, and the gas department will come out there with a meter and get a reading. We do have the option to cut your gas off if we think it's immediate danger to you.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the reasons that there's a gas leak inside the house.
Gas leak, you can either have people a lot of times on the stove will accidentally turn it just a little bit and gas will come up from the stove, or you have a malfunction with the gas fireplace, or you don't properly cut the gas off.
And then we have furnaces that have never been run. I would assume by now, as cold as it's been the past couple nights, that maybe we've had furnaces on.
Yeah, and
I just think about the building boom and all the real estate that's transferring right now.
Yeah, and
home inspectors don't necessarily catch everything.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, and like we suggest you get some professional, because I mean I'm not an air conditioner guy or a heater guy. I can't come out there and tell you if it's properly working.
But you do have gauges, the fire department.
That is right. And if you smell gas, we encourage you to call, because it is extremely dangerous. I mean.
We also were thinking, as far as people going outside to warm up their cars in the morning and they have a garage, what's the best tips for that?
We suggest all the way open car outside the garage. You don't need to half crack it, leave it open just a little bit, because that CO is going to build up in there and cause you some problems also.
All right. Well, let's talk about fire pits, because now everybody's staying at home. We're not going out quite as much, and outdoor fire pits and outdoor fireplaces, those have become really popular. Let's talk about the restrictions on outdoor fire pits.
So for the city of Olive Branch, I'm not familiar with other cities, but we require it can be 3 feet wide and 2 feet deep, and it also needs to have a protective covering over the top to prevent ashes and things from.
Okay, so you mean up to 2 feet, because some of the little ones that you go buy at a local store, they're not quite as big.
Yeah, that's correct. We just don't want you to come out there and you have a huge fire pit with logs and they're blowing,
Yeah, it's not a bonfire, it's a backyard. Yep. And 3 feet, that's quite a bit of space.
Well, the fire pit, an open burn needs to be 10 feet away from a house or a structure. The 3 feet comes in with the space heater. It needs to be 3 feet away from anything.
What do you think about, I'm going to jump around a little bit, fire extinguishers? What are you thinking about that?
They're a fantastic idea, especially with cooking about to start, everybody frying turkeys, and I think every home should have one.
What do you think about frying turkeys? Let's talk about frying turkeys.
Yeah, got to thaw them out. Make sure you put it out in time. Make sure the oil is proper depth. For the turkey that you're gonna cook.
The tip I always did when I would cook for Fox 13 is I would put the oil in there first, but first I would put my bird first, then I'd put my oil over it, and then I knew I had the right amount. Also,
another thing that people do is use water the first time instead of oil. You put it in there with the water so you get the depth correct with the water.
Is that good? Is that a good idea?
Yeah, and then you pour the water.
Wouldn't that mix the oil in the water?
Well, you don't do the oil in there first. Yeah, you just do the water first.
So much work, man.
You just do the water first, pour the turkey, mark
really
it,
important.
and then pour the water out, and then you add your oil after all the water's out and everything.
You got all the answers now.
Yeah, I'll have a couple.
You're doing a good job. Well, let's talk about what people are doing, because right now it's a little stressful and people are staying inside their homes. When I was at the fire department of Summers Hill here in Olive Branch, we noticed there were a lot of calls in the morning, like with chest pains or things like that. What do you do? Should people sit there and wait and see how they feel the next morning?
No, and I think it's a lot of, I don't want to wake them up, but we're there for 24 hours. If you're having chest pain, you need to call in. We'd rather get you when you're okay, not sick and talking, than when we get you and you're really sick. So yeah, go ahead and call if you think you know your body better than we do. So.
Let's talk about some of the things that you can tell, because you've been in the firefighting how many years?
Since 2009, so I guess.
And the thing interesting about you is how you got into it. Let's take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to go to a promo video here for the City of Olive Branch, shot by Jay Nichols, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about your career as a firefighter. And we're back, and this is a topic that I'm going to talk to Brad about. Lieutenant Brad, is that okay? Because your career, the interesting thing about what you did was you came from Arkansas, you started at a young age, and you got your certification, and you got into it now, because a lot of times with college, we don't have in-person college right now.
That's right.
So there's ways that you can go, and I work with Chief Hancock quite a bit, and we talked to Chris this morning, and we're talking to different people because they're trying to build a volunteer base of helping people get their certification.
Yes, sir.
And one thing that you did was let's talk about your story. Let's just jump into it.
So I came from a small town, Marianna, Arkansas. A lot of people probably don't know where that's located. So the Marianna Fire Department sent me to the Fire Academy. I graduated from Arkansas, and then I progressed to get my EMT. Then my paramedic started working at West Memphis, Arkansas Fire Department full-time. And I came over to Olive Branch in 2013 and started my career here.
So you've been here a while.
Yeah.
Do you like Olive Branch as far as how its growth? I think the growth of Olive Branch is tremendous.
Oh, yeah, love it. And it's growing every day.
And we're getting national recognition. We did that through Sam Reichert. Now we're doing it through Mayor Phillips, and everybody's growing and growing. And what I wanted to do is utilize this show to help not just the people that have been here since 2013 and maybe for 2010, but have actually been here for a long time. But we're talking about new residents moving in every day.
Yeah, that's myself. I moved over here this year, January 31st. So
Where did you live before?
I lived in Marion, Arkansas. Now, I drove back and forth due to working shifts and stuff. I was able to do that, but I'm actually the fire inspector now, so I
Nice.
deal with the plan reviews and all that.
I bet that's really growing.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was about to say. I don't think we've seen it as big as it is about to get, so
Yeah. Well, let's talk about how you got into it and what made you make that decision, because at 19, you actually were set up with a career, and that's what we'd like to tell people, is you can actually become a firefighter, or you can also get into police at a pretty young age. You don't have to do the 5 years of college and hope that something works out.
that's correct. Big thing with this is the longevity of the career. You get good benefits. Also, we've worked the whole time during the coronavirus. Job security is definitely there for police and firemen, especially right now. Then you got your EMS too, your paramedic, EMTs and stuff. There's also career paths there.
And Cal Keating, when I was on Summers Hill Fire Department over on Pleasant Hill, we had Cal Keating, and he was going to, I think, Northwest or Ole Miss or something, and he was taking paramedic. He's still with you, because I saw him at Kroger a while back.
He is. He's still here. I think he's at Station 2. He's a driver now. He got promoted.
Yeah, that's what I got to do for Summers Hill. I really enjoyed that. Now, y'all taken over, as far as the city of Olive Branch, you've taken over our South Station.
Yes, this is our Station 5 now.
So you have 5 stations,
Mm-hmm.
and you have roughly how many people on the payroll?
I'd say roughly 100. So it's above my pay grade to know exactly
We
how
would have
many.
to go in the next room and
talk to Chief Gibbons. Yeah, but we have 5 stations, 2 ladder trucks, which they're at Station 3 and Station 2. Then we got 3 ambulances also, which are at Station 3, Station 2, and Station 4.
And if it goes to take over Lewisburg, I guess we would even go more. How far out do we go on Summers Hill? Is it Fairhaven?
Well, we do. I think we're second in Fairhaven's district. That's Station 3. I'm not really sure how far we go out at Station 5. I'm not aware.
So where do you work out? Do you work out of the office? Or you
I work
out
out at the administration on Pigeon Roost, right down the street.
Okay.
So that's where.
So you think that you're going to be in this for a while, and you knew at a young age, what is it that drew you into this as a career?
Actually, Ladder 49. I watched it and said, that's pretty cool.
That's a really good answer.
Yeah, it is. And then I watched the mandatory backdraft for every fireman to watch. So.
What about Backdraft 2? You have any feelings on that one?
I actually watched it for the first time the other night. It's not as good as the first
one. It's the lesser of the Backdraft.
Yeah, it's not as good as the first one.
That's okay, but it still is.
That's right, yeah.
So let's talk about where Olive Branch Fire Department's going to go and how people can connect with them. You have pages, you have social media out there?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page we're getting more active on, and also we encourage, not right now due to what's going on, you can drop by the station.
Yeah.
They're more than happy to show the kids the trucks and all that. That they really love
That's
to do
pretty
that.
exciting.
People think that we're there for them, so if they want to come by and see whatever, we're more than happy to show them. So
let's talk about children and pets. If somebody does have a call, how can they be ready for that up front? You said, how would they identify?
Yeah. So we encourage, for one, to teach them to stay low during smoke, and then find an exit. Don't try to rescue their pets and things like that. We see that a lot in children. And have a central meeting location, mailbox, front yard, where we can account for all those people. That's a big thing with it.
And you said there were stickers of some sort.
Yeah, we have we have some stickers that have like tot finder. I have them on my windows of the outside of my kids' room. That way when the firemen hit it with the flashlight, they know a kid's in there.
Okay.
Pets, I don't have a good answer for them.
I think on Amazon there's some stickers out there that
there is
to identify.
Yeah, and then also we our dispatch you can contact, and if you have an at-risk elderly, for example, they're bedridden, they can tell us, this address, there's a female there that's bedridden, so we know what we're kind of walking into.
Okay. Well, it sounds like in your short career you've learned quite a bit.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming and sharing everything
Yes,
with us
sir.
today. And we do hope you'll come back, and everybody needs to support their first responders,
Yes, sir.
because when you need them, they're there.
And then let's discuss smoke detectors
Let's
real quick.
talk
if you don't
about smoke
Sorry
detectors.
about that.
That's okay.
We need to change the batteries every 6 months. Time change is when the time changes, change the batteries. I have a little chart for my kid that they think it's fun to go up there and mark when we get to change the batteries. So it's a good.
And usually when the time changes, fall back, fall forward is a good time.
Yes.
But I'm work a lot in real estate and development, and what I see is a lot of people moving in just by the masses. Homes are on the market today. People are not really getting to take the time to go check out a house, and they may still get a home inspector, but like I said, they're not going to catch everything. They would catch smoke detectors, and they do test that. But just to make sure that you understand the house, you understand the routes and what's out there. So, yeah, smoke detectors. Now, do they still beep all the time at like 11 or 12 o'clock at night when they go bad?
Yeah, they go bad at night. They don't go bad during the day, I promise. But they will beep at you. Hopefully, every 6 months, that won't happen if you change the batteries correctly. So if one of them's beeping, you probably need to get somebody to look at it.
And code enforcement does require, which I think is one of the best codes that have ever been written, is to make sure that they're all connected and hardwired in with electricity.
Absolutely, yeah. And where one goes off, they all go off. The old houses, the one in the kitchen, you might have a fire, but the people sleeping don't know. So
And there's also carbon monoxide
that's correct.
detectors, and those are $20.
Yeah, that's right. And they even have dual ones now where they'll both do both of them. So that's the.
So carbon monoxide may be close to what? Where would you usually put those? Close to the kitchen?
So you don't want to put them close to the kitchen due to, if you accidentally burn some bacon on Sunday morning, it doesn't go off. I think it's 10 feet away from the kitchen is where we like to start seeing them put. And then if you have any gas-fired appliances, we want a carbon monoxide detector in the vicinity of that also. Kind of catch that if something goes wrong.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for doing what you're doing as a career, and we'd encourage anybody else to look for a way that you can become a firefighter too, because like you said, it's job security.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this has been TJ Cates with Olive Branch TV. Good morning, Olive Branch.
Thank you.